The question now is, how do you manage the cost? Greetings and welcome to the lesson. Today we are going to study the cost of credit under the topic personal financial management. And the lesson objectives are: 1, by the end of this lesson, you should be able to outline the components of cost of credit. Number 2, should be able to explain the impact of cost of credit on personal financial management. 2 lesson objectives on the subtopic cost of credit. And candidates, understanding cost of credit is crucial for informed financial decisions and responsible borrowing. And in personal financial management, the cost of credit goes beyond just the interest rate for a loan. It encompasses all the fees, all the charges that are associated with credit, which ultimately impact the repayment amount. So that's very important. So therefore, we will discuss first of all the key components of cost of credit. Components of cost of credit. Key components of cost of credit. Key components of cost of credit. The first component is interest rate. Number 1, interest rate. When borrowing, the lender expects, or it is expected, that the borrower will pay the lender an interest at a given interest rate. And this interest rate is the percentage of the borrowed amount that you pay the lender for using their money. This rate can be fixed or it can be variable, which may significantly impact your overall repayment amount. Interest rate. Then there is the annual percentage rate. Annual percentage rate is yet another component of cost of credit. This is a more comprehensive measure of the cost of credit because it includes not only the interest rate but also most associated fees and charges, and this one allows for a more accurate comparison of different credit options. Annual percentage rate, it encompasses all the other charges, the other fees. 3, origination fees. This is another component of credit, origination fees. This is a one-time charge that is levied by the lender for processing the loan application. And these origination fees can be a percentage of the amount, or it can also be a flat rate depending on the banking or the financial institution. Origination fees, the amount you pay for processing of the loan application. When you make a loan application, the application has to be processed. The bank or the lender has to subject that application to various processes, and that comes at a cost we are calling origination fees. for late payment fees. Late payment fees. These are fees or charges which are levied if one, we can say, where one fails to make the repayment. They are charged if you fail to make your monthly payments or your annual payments, depending on the terms of the loan. If you fail to pay on time, then there may be late payment fees and impact the credit score of the lender. 5, prepayment penalties. If you pay off your loan early, discourage early repayment and discourage you from potentially saving money on interest. Prepayment penalties. If you agree that the loan term period will be, say, 5 years, and you reduce the amount so that you wish maybe to pay in 4 years, that means you've reduced the amount that you ought to pay in the ultimately. So the lender may charge you for prepayment. Some lenders charge a fee if you pay off the loan early. If it's to be paid in 5 years and you want to pay it in 4 years, if you choose to do that, some lenders can charge you what you are calling prepayment penalty. Annual fees. Certain loans charge an annual fees for continued access to the credit. Annual fees. We've seen annual fees being paid on credit cards. If you have a credit card, then there could be an annual fee that you pay for continually accessing your loan through that card. Transaction fee. Transaction fees. These are fees that are associated with specific transactions, such as using your credit card or withdrawals. Of course, PFM. Impact of cost of credit, financial stress, and so on. And the question now is, how do you manage the cost of credit effectively? Do you understand, candidates? The cost of credit can significantly impact one's budget and financial goals. One impact is overspending, debt accumulation, financial stress, and so on. So how does one manage the cost of credit? How to manage cost of credit? What is most important when studying the impact of the cost of credit is obvious. This cost can cause financial stress. This cost, if not well managed, can lead to debt accumulation and also overspending. So one way to manage cost of credit is to compare offers. First of all, before you take any loan, compare offers. Shop around and compare what different financial institutions are offering. Compare interest rates, compare the annual percentage rate, and compare the fees of different lenders before settling on a credit option. Another way to manage is to negotiate. Negotiate with the lenders for lower interest rates and fees. Then it's important to read the fine print. Read the fine print. What does that mean? Study the terms and conditions of loans. Thoroughly understand all the terms and conditions associated with credit so that you can avoid hidden costs. Make timely payments. Make timely repayments. Because if you don't pay on time, there is what we refer to here as late penalty fees, which can negatively impact the borrower. Make timely payments. Avoid late payments by making monthly payments on time. Pay off high interest debt or credit. Pay off high interest debt. Pay off high interest credit. Prioritize paying off high interest debt to minimize interest charges. 6. Use credit responsibly. Use credit responsibly. Avoid impulse purchases and overspending to manage credit utilization ratio, and also avoid failing or falling into debt. Avoid falling into debt. The money that you are advanced, use it responsibly. Use that money on things that matter. Use that money on things that may also generate more revenue to help you repay the loan. Avoid impulse purchases. Avoid overspending in order to manage credit utilization ratio. Manage credit utilization ratio and avoid falling into debt. 7 is also important to monitor your credit report. Monitor your credit report. Regularly review your credit report for any errors and take necessary steps to correct them. You understand? It's possible for the financial institutions to also make errors. That's how to manage cost of credit. In case of any errors, make sure that the errors are corrected. And you can only tell if there are errors if you regularly review a credit report. Then take corrective measures, take necessary steps to correct the errors. You understand, candidates? So it's important for you to understand that by being aware of the cost of credit and implementing effective management practices like the ones we've listed here, one can make informed borrowing decisions and also avoid unnecessary financial burdens and achieve their financial goals. So that marks the end of the lesson. We've studied the various components of cost of credit and some of the ways in which to manage cost of credit so as to deal with the impact of cost of credit, which we said that one's budget and financial goals. We said that high interest rates and hidden fees can lead to overspending and debt accumulation, and also financial stress. Here is your today's assignment number 1. What factors contribute to the overall cost of credit for individuals, and how can an understanding of these factors help individuals make informed decisions about borrowing? Number 2, how does one's credit score impact the cost of credit and secure more favorable borrowing terms? 3, in what situations is it advisable for individuals to use credit as a financial tool, and how can responsible credit management contribute to overall financial health? That's the assignment. In our next lesson, we are going to study financial alterations. Thank you for attending. Hello and welcome to the lesson. The subject is financial management. Today we are going to begin on a new topic known as personal financial management. Personal financial management. Now, in studying personal financial management, we're going to look at 5 key areas. One of them is financial problems encountered in managing individual financial affairs. That is what we are going to study in our today's lesson. The second key area is savings and investment considerations. The third subtopic is personal risk management. Number 4, cost of credit. Number 5, which is the last key area, is what we call financial alterations. Financial alterations. Those are 5 key areas that we are required to cover under the financial management topic known as personal financial management. During our first lesson in this subject, remember we categorize financial management into certain areas, and we say that financial management can relate to organizations like companies, businesses, and so on. There is also another aspect which is known as personal financial management. The same way a company may be required to manage its resources, individuals or households also ought to plan, to organize, to direct and control its financial activities or resources. It is important for each individual or each household to plan and organize and direct and control their resources in order to achieve certain financial objectives. And that is to say, candidates, that personal financial management is the process of planning, organizing, directing, and controlling one's financial activities and resources in order to achieve financial goals and ensure financial well-being. Personal financial management can be defined as it is the process of planning, organizing, directing, and controlling one's financial activities and resources to achieve financial goals. It is the process of planning, organizing, directing, and controlling one's financial activities or resources in order to achieve financial goals and financial well-being. Personal financial management. Candidates, we know planning, organizing, directing, and controlling. That's the meaning of management. But here we are referring to personal financial management. Personal financial management. Then this process we are talking about refers or relates to the activities of an individual or a household's financial activities and financial well-being. Just the same way companies are expected to manage its or their resources, individuals and households also ought to put in place, deliberately manage its financial resources. And the purpose is to achieve financial goals and financial well-being. It involves making informed decisions about various aspects of personal finance to achieve financial goals and financial well-being. And candidates, the key components of personal financial management include budgeting, saving, investing, debt management, insurance planning, and also tax planning, including retirement planning. Those are the key aspects of personal financial management. Now, in this lesson, we are required to financial affairs. What problems do we encounter as human beings in managing individual financial affairs? We all know, candidates, to survive in our world, we need to meet certain needs, come at a cost. All right? The things that we need in life, we may not have them, but they may be possessed by others. So to get these things from others, then we need to pay for them. There is a cost attached to these needs. And therefore, it's important for us as individuals to understand how to manage our financial resources, because we all know that finances are limited. All right? Financial resources, by their very nature, are limited. So it's important to manage the resources that are limited in order to achieve financial goals and financial well-being. So what are some of the problems encountered in managing individual financial affairs? Problems. What are these problems? Now, candidates, we are going to categorize these problems into 7 problems. Financial problems encountered in managing individual financial affairs. That is the first subtopic. Now, candidates, individuals face a variety of financial problems while managing their financial or personal finances. And the first category is lack of financial planning and budgeting. That's the first category. 1, lack of financial planning and budgeting. Lack of financial planning and budgeting. Is that true? Is it true that individuals do not have financial plans? We all know a plan is a predetermined course of action. A plan is something that is done beforehand. Having a plan, having a financial plan may require individuals to put on paper what they expect to do in future. So one of the problems encountered in managing individual financial affairs is that Individuals may not have financial plans about their lives. They may not have budgets. Okay? Individuals may not have clear financial goals. No clear financial goals. Under this point, you can say no clear financial goals. Now, candidates, as we discuss these problems, these are not things that are unfamiliar to us. This we can relate to what we are discussing. If I was to ask you as an individual or as as a household, does your household have clear financial goals? Not having specific goals, candidates, can lead to aimless spending and difficulty prioritizing financial needs. So if there is no plan on how my income will be spent, then I'm most likely to spend my money aimlessly. Do you understand? If I have not decided in advance that my monthly income, maybe 10% will be used on food, 10% will be used on this item, another percent will be used on maybe rent. If I don't have that plan in advance before I get the money, that means that I will have a problem in managing my financial affairs because I'm most likely to spend that money in things that may not be useful. I may not make proper financial decisions. Another problem related to lack of financial planning is no budgets. No budget. No budgets. Households or individuals may not have budgets. Having a poor budget or no budget. Because candidates without a budget, individuals may lack control over their spending. Individuals may overspend their income. So that is a problem. Having no budget or having a poor budget. 3, insufficient financial literacy. Insufficient financial literacy is also a problem encountered in managing individual financial affairs. Insufficient financial literacy. Do you understand? Individuals may not have the necessary financial knowledge in order to make sound financial decisions. You understand? Not possessing the knowledge and skills to manage money effectively can lead to poor financial decision making. And this is a common problem among individuals, including individuals who are well educated. One may be educated in medicine, in legal matters. One may be educated in engineering. One may be educated in various fields, but that does not guarantee financial literacy. That cannot amount to financial literacy. Individuals ought to make deliberate effort in order to attain financial knowledge that will enable them make individual financial decisions. If one cannot attain financial literacy, then it's important to seek advice, financial advice from the experts. And it's common for individuals to seek medical advice, to seek advice in other areas, but in my experience in my life, I've seen that I've learned or observed that individuals rarely seek financial advice on their personal financial affairs or matters. And that is a problem that is encountered in managing individual financial affairs. So this is the first category, lack of financial planning and budgeting. I've discussed 3 points. Then the second category is overspending and debt accumulation. Overspending. B, overspending and debt accumulation is yet another financial problem encountered in managing individual financial affairs. And overspending may be done through what we call impulse buying. Impulse buying. 1, impulse buying or emotional spending. Emotional spending. This is a test based on emotions rather than needs, can lead to unnecessary debt. Impulse buying. As individuals, we ought to be careful not to spend our resources on items or things that cannot be categorized as needs, because that can lead to financial problems. Unless one has unlimited resources, then candidates let's learn to avoid emotional spending. Making purchases based on emotions rather than needs can be a problem. Living beyond one's means. Living beyond one's means. Living large. Living beyond. Spending more than you earn may create a cycle of debt and can lead to financial hardships. If I earn 30,000 per month, then my monthly expenditure should not exceed 30,000. If I spend more than 30,000, my means, because my means in my example is limited to 30,000 shillings. So living beyond one means can lead to financial hardships. Number 2 or 3, high interest. High interest debt. High interest debt. Accumulating high interest debt can be difficult to manage and can significantly impact financial goals. High interest debt. Individuals should avoid high interest debt, because that can lead to accumulation of debts. Individuals may have hardships servicing the debts, right? It can lead to difficulties in managing the debt and can significantly impact financial goals. 3, lack of saving and emergency fund. Lack of saving and emergency fund. Lack of emergency fund is also a cause of financial problems. Not having savings or an emergency fund. no savings. First point under that is not saving. Having no savings. Not having sufficient amount of savings, candidates can leave individuals vulnerable to unexpected expenses and financial emergencies. In life, there are certain events that may demand for individuals to spend beyond their budget. There are events that may happen, like sicknesses, like deaths, and so on, which may require individuals to raise money in order to meet such needs or expenses. So not having sufficient money or amount of savings can make individuals vulnerable to unexpected expenses and financial emergencies. 2, having no emergency fund. Because candidates' emergencies in life are inevitable. So lacking an emergency fund can lead to relying on credit or taking out loans during unexpected circumstances. So it is advisable, candidates, that if you have an income, make sure that there is a certain percentage of your income that goes into an emergency fund. This is a fund that individuals may use in times of emergencies. Do you understand? The third point under lack of savings and emergency fund is difficulty delaying gratification. Individuals may have difficulties in delaying gratification. All right? Delaying gratification. Difficulties in delaying gratification. That means prioritizing immediate needs and wants over future financial security, which can then hinder saving efforts. We've seen individuals in our society who spend all the money to meet current needs. There are people I know who can spend their whole salary on beer because they have to gratify the need for getting high or getting drunk. And that can lead to lack of saving and emergency fund, because savings can only be set aside out from our income. So there are individuals who have a difficulty in delaying gratification. And that would mean that such individuals spend all the money today at the expense of saving for tomorrow. It means prioritizing immediate needs, today's wants over future financial security. The other category is D, unexpected expenses. That's another financial problem encountered in managing individual financial affairs. Unexpected expenses, which may be as a result of job loss or income reduction, job loss or income reduction. Losing a job is an unexpected event. Losing income can significantly impact an individual's ability to meet financial obligations. Another point under this is medical emergencies. Medical emergencies. Medical emergencies. These are unforeseen medical expenses which can put strain on an individual's incomes or finances. We may have things like expected events like home repairs, car breakdowns, and so on. A car breaking down can be categorized as an expected event, which may cause an individual to incur expenses to fix the car or to fix a house. The roof of your house can be pulled down by wind. That is an expected event, which may call for repairs to the house. Unexpected, these are unexpected expenses. Major expenses can lead to unexpected and significant costs. 5, poor financial habits. Poor financial habits. Poor financial habits like not tracking expenses, it's very possible for an individual not to know or to track his or her expenses. That is a poor financial habit. Not keeping track of one's spending makes it difficult to identify areas where one can cut back. It's important to know what percentage of your income goes to, say, airtime, what percentage of income goes to food, what percentage of income goes to entertainment, and so on. Tracking expenses so that when it's necessary to cut back, one is able to know which expenses to cut back. So not tracking expenses is a poor financial habit. Number 2, not paying bills on time. Not paying bills on time is a poor financial habit. Not paying bills on time. Fees. I know landlords in Nairobi will charge an interest or penalty on rent default. If you are to pay your rent on, say, on 5th and you fail to pay the rent by 5th, then the tenant may be required to pay some money on the delayed rent and income, or bills, not paying bills on time. Failure to review financial statements, or individuals do not have such statements, so reviewing becomes impossible from identifying potential problems early. So these are 3 points on poor financial habits: not tracking expenses, not paying bills on time, failure to review financial statements. This is the 5th category. The 6th category is limited financial resources. And financial resources may be limited because of, 1, individuals with low income may struggle to meet basic needs. 2, limited access to financial services. Limited access to financial services. Lacking access to banking, difficult for individuals to manage financial resources effectively. Dependence, depending on such income. Financial dependence. That may include supporting family members and supporting friends, supporting neighbors, which can put additional strain on individuals' finances. So, also limited access to financial services like banking services. We know banks may offer credit. When an individual does not have access to banking services, then such an individual will have limited financial resources. An individual, I've said, may have high financial resources, but many financial dependents, which can limit or reduce or put strain on an individual's finances. Then the last category, number 7, life events. Life events. One example of a life event, an inevitable life event, is retirement. Retirement is inevitable. So therefore, planning for retirement may require careful financial management in order to ensure financial security in later years. Retirement, ultimately, individuals who don't die early will inevitably have to retire from active employment or active work. And that's something that individuals ought to plan for. And this life event can be a financial problem in managing individuals' financial affairs. Another event that is common in our day is divorce / separation. This is yet another life event, though it may not be inevitable, but divorce happens. People separate, those who are married. And during this event, candidates, dividing assets and debts can be financially complex. It can be inevitable event which we dread the most is death, dying. And candidates dealing with financial implications of death for the surviving family members can put a strain. It can be a challenging, daunting task. Dealing with financial implications of death. This is a financial problem. Can lead to financial problem in managing individual financial affairs. So candidates, that effectively brings the lesson to an end. The first lesson in personal financial management, where we've defined one's financial activities and resources to achieve financial goals and financial well-being. We further in this lesson discussed the financial problems encountered in managing individual financial affairs. These are 7 categories. The first category is lack of financial planning and budgeting. Having no clear financial goals, having no clear budgets or no budgets, having insufficient financial literacy. These are points to support lack of financial planning and budgeting. Financial planning and budgeting. The second category is overspending and debt accumulation. And that can be caused by impulse buying or emotional spending. Individuals ought to avoid that are not categorized as needs. Number two, individuals should live within their means. Number three, individuals ought to avoid high interest debts. That is a second category. We've discussed 3 points. 1, 2, 3. In the first category, we discussed 1, 2, 3 points. Problems, financial problems encountered in managing individual financial affairs. The third category or group is lack of saving and emergency fund. Having no savings, having no emergency fund, having difficulties delaying gratification. It's a financial problem. The fourth category is unexpected expenses that may be caused or occasioned by job loss or income reduction, medical emergencies, things like house repairs, and so on. Category number 5, poor financial habits. Having poor financial habits like not tracking expenses, not paying bills on time, failure to review financial statements. These are poor financial habits. Category number 6, limited financial resources. Limited financial resources like having low income, limited access to financial services, then having many financial dependents. Then in closing, we discussed life events like retirement, divorce and separation, and death. So candidates, these are just some of the many financial problems individuals may encounter. And by recognizing these challenges, by taking proactive steps to manage your finances, you can improve your financial well-being and achieve your long-term goals, because we've seen that that is the objective of personal financial management, is to achieve financial goals and financial well-being. We ought to recognize these challenges and many others that I have not highlighted. We need to do what? To recognize. And after recognizing these challenges, we then take proactive steps. And that is what it entails by planning, having predetermined courses of action in relation to our financial affairs. And by so doing, we can improve our financial well-being and achieve long-term financial objectives. Thank you for attending the lesson. I'll give you one question related to what we've discussed today. Assignment. This is your assignment. Discuss 7 financial problems encountered in managing individual financial affairs. That is your today's assignment. While answering this question, please don't refer directly to the notes. Try and see if you can recall what you have learned in today's lesson without referring to the notes. Thank you for attending the lesson. Bye bye.